we're gonna having a winners semis match between them.
I
Ooh.
I wonder who has Chag been playing. Like, has he actually been playing Palutena, or has he been like monkeying around? But no,
Yeah.
he's definitely going to Palutena here. And maybe if he's feeling a little too confident, he will go for the pit.
Yeah.
But so far, he's sticking to his tried and true main. Like, this man struggled at first to really stick to one character, but once you realize, like, Palutena is such a solid character that he can just invest his time into. Like, he became a different beast and one of the most consistent players in Mexico for a reason.
And especially, right as you're saying that, we see an amazing display of talent from Chag, already doing 190%. We could potentially be seeing a zero to that. Never mind, I should not be saying stuff like that on stream. But yeah, Chag just went in. He's going hard. He's gonna do a lot of damage, and yeah, I think Chag is gonna do a great job with Palutena. Palutena is his main for a reason. But we can't ignore the fact that Yu has been playing really well on this tournament too. I'm pretty sure we saw earlier Yu had a good match against Frostbite, doing a 3-stock and even to qualify for top 8. So it's anybody's game, but for now, Chag with a good lead.
I mean, you don't find yourself in winner semis by random luck, right? You have to win some matches, like, unless it's like an 8-man tournament or something, but this is definitely not, so, like, Yu is gonna actually have to put in the work. Like, of course, he's facing Chag, which, as we've touched upon, like, he is such a great player, but I have no doubt in my mind that this Mega Man can bring something special to the table, but still, like, he's clearly trailing behind, but, like, it only takes a couple solid hits. Like, Mega Man really does hit hard.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Chag start off right as I say that up tilt's gonna take the first stock off of you, but Chag started with a very quick 110% or so on the first stock, but you a little by little just doing enough damage to get this match to be a bit closer, and definitely gonna be an interesting development to see so far.
Yeah, he was bringing it back at the end of last stock, tail end, almost. Oh, good recovery by Chag, knowing that hard knuckle is actually very prone to getting those like non-invincibility frames on the recovery. And what a setup! And did he jump? He caught that jump, and he's gonna steal that stock. He was trailing by so much, but there finally, like, well, the percent was high, but still, I get surprised every time that the upper kills. Like, does that really happen? Are you not kidding me?
Yeah, I've seen it sometimes take stock super early, but I've also seen it like with very high percentages struggling to take the stock. But this time it seemed to work out. A good setup from you, took the first stock off of Chag, and now you, for the first time on this match, taking the percentage lead, not letting, making Chag have a hard time coming back to the stage. Almost getting that spike with the knuckle, but yeah, so far you seems to have turned the tables around.
Oh, definitely. And Chag going for the upwards recovery, well, slightly above the ledge recovery, because as we've touched upon, like, Palutena can be vulnerable, but vulnerable to smashes, definitely catching Chag on one of his most, like, ingrained habits, that is that side B at the ledge whenever he's recovering. I mean, it is a great option if you don't know how to deal with it, but as we saw, whenever you have, like, a transcendent hitbox such as that F smash, then you are gonna have an easier time. And oh, I was very scared for Chag right there, because he almost found himself at the wrong end of a spike.
Yeah, you on this so far after the first stock just looking up really well. Chag hasn't really gotten the chance to go in and get either a string or a setup and stuff. Just doing damage with every now and then with like the hits he gets. But you has just been playing very solid. Like, we see a very aggressive playstyle so far actually. Even with the lead, it doesn't really stay behind and do some projectile camping. It's a really interesting Mega Man to see.
Yeah, and you can particularly appreciate, like, the Metal Blade placement. Like, that is such a great tool for controlling neutral. And even though Palutena does have some invincible options in the backer and dash attack, like, Chag has just not found a correct answer. And finally there, but falling from the skies, and that backer is just so fast and so strong right there. He could have gotten punished again. I cannot avoid but think that Yu is maybe saving that last read, just securing that little extra percent that he might need to just take the stock quite easily. But here, Chag still has a fighting chance while he takes the stock, but I wonder, he's very crucial that he avoids invincibility here.
Yeah, definitely. You got a very, very good lead that's gonna work out for him on this first game, but we can't leave Chag behind, because remember, Palutena is a very good character, and online Palutena also works, and really, really quickly racking all of the damage, 63% from Chag. Yeah, are we gonna see a very clutch comeback here, or is you gonna close the deal here?
Oh my god, that god has descended from the heavens with a nair nonetheless. And here we are seeing the last moments, and that was so tense, and that backer misses Mark barely, but not that second time around. The ledge trump is gonna prove very effective, and you holding on to dear life there. But it was quite scary, like Chag was making a fat comeback.
Yeah, it was interesting, you see, because we thought for a second you had the game pretty much set up for him to win, but Chag just went in and did a lot of damage really quick, which could have definitely gotten into Yu's nerves. At the end there, I was surprised after, I don't know which of them tried to get the first Sledgerum, but it didn't really work out for them.
It was Chag,
just,
right?
Yeah, I think it was Chag. You barely just surviving that. We see here at the end, doesn't really get it, and then Yu goes for his own Ledstrom and does get it with that backer and takes the
It's
game.
like how you... Yeah, I'm sorry. Like this is like how you do it. He said, you was like, this is how you do it, boy. This is how you do it.
You're trying to
let from me?
Let me show you. But it was just a very good way to close the first game. We're gonna see a lot of this intensity on this second game. Hopefully, it should just be a very close game. Honestly, right as this first game was, we're gonna be staying at Pokemon Stadium. It weirded me out that you stayed still for a second. Yeah, but I think we're all set to keep going. So yeah, you and Chag game 2.
I almost thought like there had been some sort of like miscommunication, because like sometimes like people, I picked the wrong stage, so I'm gonna just run off the stage or something. I have to get water, just give me a second, we'll restart the match, or I don't know. But he just stood still like, come on, come at me, I won the first game, come and get it.
It's just he's just there standing there threatening. Yeah, we see both of them starting up real quick, going for using the projectiles to do some damage, and I'm talking about both of them. Really close percentages here. An edge guard situation from you can't really get the stock just yet, but just playing and pressuring a lot on the latch, trying to get Chag to make a mistake or putting him on a spot where he can take the stock. But Chag really patiently coming back to the stage and now has an edge guard situation of his own.
So far, back and forth constantly, it's just been a real brawl. Like whenever one seems to take the lead, the other one immediately is right there with the next best move. And very dangerous situation here for Chag. Fortunately for you, not only the DI was on point, but also Mega Man is fairly heavy. Chag avoiding the damage by holding onto the ledge, and the Nair, even though we know way back when it got its knockback nerf, but still, whenever you're at that high percent and that far of stage, it's still gonna work. Chag, I cannot believe he actually managed to leave that.
Yeah, that's some great DI from Chag, surviving right now 143. Well, never mind. No longer any percentage in Chag. Great spike edge guard from you, and now this is once again, we reset the game. 2 stocks for each. Both of them playing really well, especially off stage.
I feel like at how even this has been, if at any moment any of them gets like a gimp or like a very, very great edge guard at like mid percents, I feel like the other one is just not gonna be able to recover. And just because they can actually trade it out, and as close to the chest as both of them have been playing their cards, like really quite just going for those nice, decisive, neutral options, whilst like saving that little extra for when they know that they have to take the stock.
Yeah, it really looks like both of them are playing it very safe. They seem to have been trading just strings and stuff for the past few games. Like, one goes in, does like 40-50% damage, and then the other one takes his turn doing the same amount of damage. But for now, Chag actually taking a pretty good lead in this second stock, and with that backer is going to take the stock. You on his final stock of this game too. let's see, can Chag close it out, or is you gonna try and go for the comeback on this second game?
Oh, dangerous position there. Fortunately, Chag recognizes that he has to go above, and he does execute that right. Auto reticle at a distance. Yet again, another ledge trump, and I think you believe that he had taken that stock, but not quite enough. However, the Shoryu, always such a great tool for taking the stock.
Yeah, it seemed like he catches Chag at air dodging and punishes with that Shoryuken nicely, and it's once again another last stock situation from both of these players. We saw what happened in game 1. We had a nail biting final sequence from both of them. Can we see something similar here, or is Chag just gonna take the advantage he's gotten over the past few stocks and just end it with a nice setup or something? It's gonna be interesting to see, because you gotta go in. Like, there's no other way around that. And Chag, let's see if Chag just plays it safe for the rest of this stock.
Oh, barely managing to escape the godly power of that up air. I don't know. It was just pixels away. Like, that hitbox is borderline unfair. So I am very impressed. I don't know if it's got to do with like the way that Mega Man's hurtbox moves or something like that. But here, Chag going in with the nair, he was very ready with that backer, but not at the right height to actually go for anything meaningful. And oh, here he buffered that air dash, but he manages to make it back alive, holding on to dear life, and that metal blade actually was a grave mistake in that position, because Chag was so ready with that upper. He was like, I'm not missing any more of these. I know I cannot afford that, and so he does, bringing it back to even.
I actually thought there that that buffered air dash was gonna be it, and Chag had just lost his stock on a very unfortunate way. And even with that,
scary.
He does make it back, but you also pressure with that downer, so it was definitely a very, very scary situation for Chag, but he still made it back, and not only that, but takes the stock and takes game 2. So once again, these two seem to really like getting into tense situations at the end of each game.
Chag must be shaking even more than normally. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Chag play in person, but he normally, like, he's like a somewhat jittery person. He's not like he's nervous or something. It's just how his physique works. Like, it's not like a show of his mental state or whatever, but he's like, his hands shake like a lot. And so he must have actually been shaking a little more, and more on the mental side, I think. Not to throw any shade at Chag, of course not. Like, he still managed to clutch it out. But yeah, like, I have to wonder if the next time it goes into a nail biter situation like that, like, if he can actually manage to just stay composed. Because I feel like that is a big part of, like, Chag's development as a player. He's always known that he has the ability to do so. It's just that he needs to have the confidence to actually execute whenever tournament comes, and that is not the way to do it, for sure.
Once again, that's a very unfortunate way to lose the first stock on this game too. We've been talking about how solid both of these guys have been, especially at the start of games, like racking up the damage and stuff. But I think that was a pretty early percentage for Chag to lose the stock. I don't think Chag had even 60% or something, but I mean, we've seen Chag play from behind and rack the damage and take the stock. But it's gonna be interesting to see, especially on a stage like Kalos, because I think Kalos has a very high blast zone. So if we see any setups that finish with up air, I'm not sure if those could work like only
effectively, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he's gonna have to play a lot, especially take advantage of edge guard situations, and that goes for both players.
And Chag has to also remind himself that he cannot overextend off stage, because if he ever gets hard knuckled again, if that downer comes into play, like, he could lose that stock just as easily as he did whenever he SD'd right there. And well, upper, it comes at a threshold where you're just not gonna leave it, regardless of whether it's Kalos or not, whether you're very heavy or not. Like, still, you're gonna get hit by that, and you're gonna actually fall.
I mean, with 100. With that much damage, I really would have been surprised if he would have survived that. But as we say, Chag really not letting that first stock get into his head, just playing it safe, doing a lot of damage right now. 49, 61% on you already. So the game's pretty much leveled once again. So Chag coming in with all the momentum at this point.
And I'm looking at that Metal Blade, and if Chag ever gets his hands on that again, that could be a spectacle, because this man used to practice a lot of item combos, so he definitely knows his way around with like all sorts of items, and of course that Metal Blade allows for like some very interesting setups. And barely managed to hold on to his life there, Chag. And good, you just have to do nothing there. You do not challenge that forward smash. You just let it happen.
Yeah.
You weather the storm, basically.
Just wait for it, and then once it's gone, you can come back. Both of them right now on kill percentage, and that backer from you on the right platform is gonna take it last stock for Chag on this game 3. But you still, he definitely is not in a comfortable position, because any hit from Chag can potentially take his second stock and send this for a third time into a last stock situation that we know they get intense with between these two.
Oh, that has been the story of the set so far, and I'm really hoping to see it. Like, though Chag cannot allow himself to let like the lead grow too large. And there the position, dash attack a little mistimed. And here Chag trying to avoid the potential setups. He's not trying to get baited out, because he knows, of course, he's at his last stock. Last pair of legs and not much more to go. Auto Reticle basically validating Mega Man's entire mid-range game. But there, Chag, as relentless as ever, near the ledge, and he is actually gonna see his efforts pay off.
Once again, in coming into a last stock situation, you, it seemed to me like you was trying to play a bit more patiently, playing with the projectiles, try to do damage from that far, because you don't want to go in and make a mistake and just lose the stock for that. But it didn't really work out for him. Chag took the second stock off, and now on this last stock, it's anybody's game. Chag coming in with the strings, with the bread and butters and stuff. While you, of course, is not gonna let that. He's not gonna stay behind. Both of them just trading hits right there and there.
And Chag seems to have been adapting a lot more to the way that Yu tends to approach on the air whenever he is like trying to bait out and go for the Metal Blade or go for an aerial. Like, Chag seems like, you know what, I have a big ass nair, I can just go there and challenge you then. And Chag was so goddamn lucky that the up tilt did not kill him, but he actually got that up air instead. That was so good.
I don't know what did Mega Man get hit by? Was it his own
I was
bomb?
so lost. I was so lost at. Oh my God, Chag, you're so lucky that I didn't even see what he got hit by. But let's see. Thank you to production that they actually have this kind of tech in store.
Yeah, my thought is he grabbed his own bomb. Yep, he did grab his own bomb, get hit to it, and Chag catches the jump.
Worst way to go.
That's really unfortunate for you, because you was playing solid on that last stock. But Chag, we see his ability to just adapt and take any chance that he gets. So
yeah,
props to Chag for doing that.
And he jumped at just the right time, and that up tilt came at just the right moment to actually trade the crash bomb. And that was it. And also, like, mad props to Chag for reading that jump, because he knows he's Mega Man, or maybe he's just catching on to player habits, and he is gonna try to come and